Welcome to John S. Sports Channel once again, and we're gonna try and do a relatively good job of Coventry versus Oxford. It's going to be an interesting evening of football. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but who cares? It's the first day of the week. I'll just have to go through the day on sleep mode, especially if today's anything like last week. Wasn't that manic? I have never been so busy on a live. That was absolutely I mean, yeah, I was watching the Oxford game live with the Watchalong, and what the hell? That was absolutely ridiculous. Some of the tackling from the Norwich side was absolutely awful. I've never seen anything like it. It's No, it was really weird. But we need to get through the sides, so we're going to quickly go through the sides. So if you're still there, we're going to go through the sides. We quickly go through. I get the sides on this side and some of the scores on this side. So we've got Coventry with a 4-3-3, Dublin at the back. We've got Evic, Latabodiere, Binks, and Bidwell along the back, which is quite formidable, isn't it? But look at this for midfield: Rodoni, Eccles, and Torp. I think that's actually quite a well balanced team. Slightly one sided, but I think I think all in all, and that's quite a nice balance. And up front, oh my God, Sakamoto, Sims, and Haji Wright. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm waiting on that one to turn. Oh, it's not quite gone on yet. So it's a very interesting game coming up with Oxford. I'm just looking at where I'm going to get my commentary from. Cummings at the back. We've got on the back line. We've got Long, Moore, Brown, and Bennett. So I would have to say that's not quite as strong as they really need to be. However, they've got Will Volks in a holding role in the middle. I would think he's capable of doing that, having played along that back bit for Rotherham. We always play from the back because we're always defending. And then across the front, they've got sat behind Mark Harris at the front. We've got Goodrum, Rodriguez, Brannigan, and Placetta. Now that's not bad midfield. And with Will Volks behind, I can see that they're going to be trying to control the midfield. So I can sort of see where they're coming from, and yeah, I can see that working. Whether it'll work against this side, who knows? Who knows if it'll work against this side? I think it may very well work against them, but only if Coventry decide to come out thinking, "Oh, we can beat this Oxford lot. I mean, League One rubbish, and they've not made too many brilliant signings. Yeah, we can beat them." Elliot Moore, captain. Yeah, we can do this. And then you look at the Coventry, think, yeah. I mean, Latabodiere is the captain there, and you're thinking, that we're the confidence levels of. I'm going mad. I really am going mad, aren't I? The confidence levels of Coventry must be sky high. And this is where I look at it and think, this is going to be the point that Oxford are going to have to really be quite, I would say pushy, but they're going to have to be just like they were last week. And they're going to have to be absolutely on the ball, because that midfield, their best point, I think, for Oxford is that midfield. And Coventry's back line is bloody good. Well, Coventry's entire team is bloody good. but I think the overconfidence side is the only hope for Oxford. I think they can do it. I think they can get something out of the game. It will be very, very difficult, but I think they will be able to. But they are looking for Will Vaulks and that middle four to gel and be sort of almost like a little diamond going into attack. And diamond shapes throughout history have been really a really worthwhile formation to think about, because they always seem to, certainly on the battlefield, that they work really well. So at the minute, Coventry's team with Sakamoto, Sims, and Haji Wright up front, I would say is a pretty formidable front line. However, you've got Mark Harris up front, but you see, you've got Will Vaulks sort of sat back, and you've got Goodrum, Rodriguez, Brannigan, and Plachetta. And I think Plachetta played a pretty good game. Brannigan can play an excellent game, but he can also play an absolute shocker of a game. I think this is going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to it. Why on earth I put 1/4 to put a go live, I don't know. If there is anybody in, tell me who you support. It'd be very interesting. I'm a Rotherham supporter, but one of the things I said on my previous live for running, I just like to have people in and have a chat and not have a fucking itchy nose, and I enjoy the chatting and the sort of camaraderie, and yeah, I'll have a chat about your team, my team. Well, preferably not with crap, and we can sort of just enjoy the evening. Have a few dives into what's happening. I've got the microphone there. I'll just swap that round to that side so that you can hear the some of the commentary as well. We'll be starting in 6 minutes, so hopefully it'll be a good game. I mean, we wouldn't have expected Coventry to be 16th and on 0 points, and we certainly wouldn't be expecting Oxford to be in 6th on 3 points. So who knows? And a goal difference of 2 after Norwich. You really wouldn't expect it, would you? I think this is going to be a cracking match. I really hope so, because I enjoyed the watch-along last week. The watch-along last week was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there were a couple of 2 or 3 points in there where somebody said, "Oh yeah," about a score, and I'm like, "Oh shit, we'll have I missed one?" Right, so I went across to try and pick it up, and then by the time I picked it up, the radio and the television had said there was another goal each, and I'm thinking, "Shit, how many goals are going in at the fucking same time?" I'm like, "Right, okay, there's one over here, there's one over there." Typing them into the comments, because at the minute I've not got. I use the standard YouTube broadcasting, and which will change, but at the minute it's I put things in the comments, and I can try to put in like 4 different scores, and as you're putting in one, right, okay, that's the first one done, right, what's the next? Oh shit, another goal. I was like, but it was the fact that there were so many really odd goals. It's like, hang on a minute. They've just said Oxford scored again, and I should be watching that on the television. And there's three scores just gone in over, really. Oh, it was an absolute nightmare, which I enjoy it when people do that. It's like, tell me that there's such and such has just scored. And it's like, oh, right, thank you. And we'll move on, because it's sort of like it's a community thing then, isn't it? And then you're telling me what you think. I'm telling you what I can see and hear see on the telly and hear on the radio, and hopefully, we sort of get this sort of bit of information, so like triangle of information. You lot, the television and the radio, and sort of Sky on the side, and we don't really bother about that. And yeah, we can come up with usually a pretty good conversation. And I do like to talk about our clubs as well, because I wouldn't expect many Oxford and Coventry fans. Certainly not many Oxford fans will be on here, but well, we might get one or two. We've got one or two Plymouth fans on the Plymouth game on that live, which we did, and that was quite interesting because they're all saying that they're going to do well this weekend. I'd like to see what you think, because I thought that was a pretty dismal performance, and I'm up with several of the people on the internet and on the radios. I think that Rooney will be gone by Christmas. I have always said I don't see him as a manager. There's been several players from that era, and that era at Manchester as well, who've tried their toe in management, and it hasn't worked. And yeah, I can't see it working for him. I really can't. 4-0, yeah. And the fans were up. They were saying, yeah, no, we always do bad away. We'll be doing really well when we play at home at the weekend. And I was saying, well, you've got to remember that. You've got to remember it's very, very difficult to bounce back from such a big defeat. 4-0 is a big opening day defeat. It's one of those that can demoralize the entire squad for probably about 6 games. It's usually about 5, 6, 7 games that it really demoralizes people for. I know, because we've done it several times. I know that one well enough. And it's shit happens, doesn't it? So we're going to be going in. So I'm going to now click that. I'll click that one, and we'll get that one off Shamrock Rovers. I don't want that. We'll get the Coventry one, and we'll turn that up. Right, that's a bit loud. But
for the use, it's coming in goal and about for a Brown, Moore and Long. There's one holder that's
we have got the radio on.
Across the middle,
I might turn that down a bit. Is that okay?
The lone striker, Harris.
Hopefully you can hear me on top of that. If you can't, then just tell me. If nobody's here, who cares? I'm going to talk to myself. Hopefully, as you rewind it, because I know a lot of people rewind these and they play them afterwards. I get about 40, 45 people usually rewinding this and playing it again in the future. But at the minute, the ball is with Oxford, and Brown has it on the left. Pass it back to Cumming. I'll just turn that down a little bit more. So Brannigan is now with the ball. Across to Brown. We're still playing it across the back. 38 seconds gone. Brannigan now playing it safely around that defence. So the rear Oxford now are trying to play it along the back. It's a little bit. It is a champ. Ooh, they you see, play across the back. They got pressurised by Coventry then, and they played it out. So now Oxford have given Coventry a throw-in, and they've actually passed it backwards. It goes all the way to the opposite side to Coventry's left, and goes to Torp. Tries to give it to Hadji right, but he's out of position, and he crosses it across to the right to Van Eyck, and Van Eyck now in the middle. No, passes it right down the right side to Rudoni. Rudoni now is going to try and cross, I should think. Oh, he doesn't. He goes it to Sakamoto, but Sakamoto's cornered, and he's got only one option. That's to pass it all the way back to the opposite side to Latabodiere. and it's in defence now. But the defensive line is right up against that halfway line, and Latterbudier gives it to Van Eyck. Van Eyck in the centre circle.
Brannigan can help himself there, and it provides an opportunity. Yeah, fast start from Coventry first home game.
Bit of a hard tackle there, and you've got a free kick in the middle. Brannigan it was who did the foul. So Coventry now have a free kick almost spot on the centre circle.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you can see that all in there.
And they'll be looking to float this one probably as close to that centre as possible, I should think. With 3 up front, gather the 3 in.
Chip it up and over the wall, really, and get it right. More like just to go back.
Oh, off to target. Torp had a go from the kick. But no, it was well off there, I think.
Well, it was absolute rubbish. It was even worse than I thought.
Even worse than I thought, says the radio. It was absolute rubbish. He said it wasn't absolute, but it was. So 3 minutes, and Moore now has it in the Oxford defence. Gives it to Cumming. Cumming shoves it down the left to Plachetta, but he loses it to Eccles. As soon as Plachetta tries doing a through ball, Eccles grabs it, and now Eccles can well it into the far right corner for Sakamoto, but Bennett intercepts that, and Bennett now can hopefully try an opposite side. I would think Plachetta in the middle. Will they send it to the opposite side? I certainly would. I'd be thinking of sending it to right-hand side, but Plachetta now has it in the middle. Plachetta gets took down as well, and now it's Plachetta who's got a free kick for Oxford. The radio's not far behind, to be quite honest. It's for once we've got a radio commentary that's matching the video. One wonders if Oxford are actually trying to sort of like slow this game down. They're certainly taking their very jolly time on doing this. It comes to Cumming, who then wellies it forward with Brannigan, Rodriguez, and they're in the Coventry half, but Haji Wright takes it from them. I don't think Haji Wright has actually taken that from about halfway line, which sort of, as a forward, he's sort of like quite far back. He's certainly in his own half. So Haji Wright, and he gets a free kick. But Long grabs it, intercepts the through ball. Moore across to Bennett, Brannigan. They're moving it around quite effectively, Oxford. To Bennett. Pulls it forward, but Latterbudier grabs it on Oxford's far left. Coventry's back right. Passes it to Dovin. Dovin in the penalty area.
I think it would be more about the team structure anyhow. Well, that's a poor kick out from Dovin, the Swede, looking for.
What did he kick it out for? I'm not quite sure why he kicked that one out. Is that must be a corner for Oxford.
Maybe they've got a long throw, but anyway, lots of Oxford United fans in the stadium as well. There's a really healthy contingent of those guys. So what can they expect? Well, it's a loaded block. We're going to get a long throw.
Well, it's a throw rather than a corner. It must have just gone out, but over the side rather than the corner there. So it's going to be a long throw. Try and get it into the box from here. So let's see what they do. Yeah. Oh, Binks grabs that one, and Binks gives it to Torp. I might have given it short in the box, but he has done. Well, Torp then is it for, but Long gives it to Volks. Now, what can Will Volks do on the side? Will Volks on that left side, gives it back to Brannigan and back to Bennett because he didn't want to go forward. And Volks should know better than that. He's a good player. He could have made the difference there. I think he just chose the easy option and passed it back into defence. And maybe Oxford need that little bit of confidence here. They're just showing a bit of tentative pushing forward, but not quite doing it. They challenge there, Oxford, for a ball, get it, but then the throw-in goes to Eccles, and Volks somehow is on the wrong side. Grabs it, and he's back to Brown in the middle. And he's tucked down. It'll be a free kick. And that goes forward to Latabodiere. Well is it to Rodoni, who tries to cross, but Sam Long kicks it out to Evic, and Rodoni now. Coventry gaining momentum here. Eccles gives it back to Evic. Van Evic now back to Latabodiere, who is the Latabodiere now over the halfway line. Binks now also over the halfway line, and they're pushing forward. Coventry are at the minute on the front foot. Rodoni down the left-hand side. Rodoni to Bidwell. Bidwell, and that's a tackle there, but he doesn't get the ball. Torp manages to just take it from him, but then Sam Long has a bloody second go at it and manages to take it off him. But will he keep it in? Will he keep it on that side? Yeah, just. He sends a ball into Bink, who wellies it back out, and then Oxford try and welly it back in again, but then Bidwell on the left-hand side for Coventry now can try and regain a bit of composure. Torp shoves it to Rodoni, who passes it to Adji Wright, and it's off. It bounces off Bennett in the box, and Bennett can now try to retrieve some composure at the back. Oxford are a little bit at 6 and 7s at the minute, with Bennett in the back, and I think it was that a foul? Yeah, it was. Gives it to Moore. So Moore, Brown, Moore, Will Volks off near the halfway circle, centre circle. Gives it to Brown. Harris now in the centre circle. Gives it back to Moore. Moore now playing away along the sort of midfield for Oxford, but that's quite far back. They try a through ball, but Dovin is going to just gather that one up pretty easy. Rolls it out to Van Evic, who will run down to halfway. Sakamoto tries a through ball, but Bennett grabs it for Oxford on the left-hand side, and Bennett now can try and... I just seem to think Bennett seems to be the one trying to calm it down. And he pushes it forward, and Goodrum has a shot, and that was a pretty good save, and it trickles off, and it goes out for an Oxford throw-in. In fact, it was Bidwell that bounced that one off. Moore, and it gets cleared out by it must have got cleared out, and Goodrum, Long. Plachetta has a shot, but it's off it's bounced off a defender, actually. It's not gone out. Van Evic to Dovin. And they're trying to miss all the bloody Oxford players at the minute. I think that was is it a foul? No, we're playing on. Tap to Dovin. Eccles now trying to Binks to Bidwell. Bidwell's been playing quite well. Bidwell's been he's stopped a couple of really important passes and shots so far. Rodoni, Long, right on the corner flag. Rodoni gets it back again. Between the 3 times now, so we don't want to see that again. Bidwell. Back to Rodoni. Long's around there. Can he get it off him? He passes it to Sakamoto. Shoots, and it's defended well by Oxford, who will pass. They passed it rather than tried clearing it. And actually, at the minute, Brannigan has managed to pick it up, which was pretty good. Pretty good play. They didn't panic, and he passed it to Oxford's left. Although Sakamoto has now grabbed it off him. And Sakamoto can try and find a way to cross it. I think he's got a free kick there. Pretty dangerous position if it is a free kick.
Although, as I've mentioned, the U's have actually won the League Cup once, so maybe you do. But anyway,
pushes it in, and Torp has a shot, but it's cleared away by Oxford, and Oxford can now try to. Yeah, I will say every shot's been blocked. It's not actually gone out. None of them's gone out so far. Each shot on both directions has been blocked. And now Oxford can try and keep a bit of composure at the back. Coming at the minute. Right in the box. Gives it to Will Volk, who is actually almost in the box himself. Pass it to the right. I think you'll get the left and right wrong here. It comes, pass it to right, comes back to coming forward to right with Goodrum, but he loses it to Bidwell. So that's Bidwell again. It was good last week. Bidwell was doing well last week, and he was my man of the match for Coventry. Coventry played some really good football, and really did make himself a pain in the neck. As Rudoni grabs it from Oxford again in the Coventry half, but then Will Volks grabs it, gives it to Brannigan. Volks, Brown. We've got a little triangle now between Volks, Brannigan, and Brown, and they break that up as I say it and give it to the left to crossed it. I can't see who that was. Crossed it into Dovin. Dovin now in the goal area for Coventry, and Dovin can now try and roll it to Binks, Latibodiere, Van Evick, and we're going on that back line that's quite high up. I think that's it's just Latibodiere that seems to be pulling back. The rest of the four centre line seems to be playing a little bit further forward. They try a through ball that goes all the way across to the right to Bennett, and then Bennett grabs it, and Coventry has somehow took it off him, and it's a goal. Coventry have just scored, and where the hell that one came from, because Bennett had it safely, and it was crossed and headed, and Haji Wright had it in the net. Bennett had it, and it was just taken off him, crossed into the net, crossed into the centre, and Haji Wright was just gaping, and it was just, I'm going to head that into the net. And yeah, it's yeah, that was so the other option there was Sakamoto, but Sakamoto was just not going to get to it, and yeah, it's suddenly become 1-0 to Coventry, and it's got to be. There's got to be some. I said before when you saw Will Volks down there on the left hand side, it was pushing forward, and he decided to pull the ball back, and there Volks pushed it forward, but he should have been pushing that forward instead of pulling back, and he's been playing a defensive role, and he's best up front, and Volks has been pulling back a little bit too much, and you can tell that it was good. Ooh, Oxford get a yellow card there. They're now starting to panic. Oxford do look like they're panicking at the back. They are looking even more shaky, dare I say it, more shaky than Plymouth did. At this point, what time are we on? 15 minutes. Plymouth was still strong at this point. Oxford have just started to show signs of panic. The back line's not keeping hold of the ball as Van Evick has the ball, gives it back to Latibodiere, who's on the halfway line, for God's sake, and Binks halfway line pushes it forward, but Long grabs it on the back right for Oxford and loses it. They push another ball into the same area, but Volt clears it to Latabaudiere again. And Latabaudiere now tries to give it back, and he managed to give it back to Dovin right on the edge of the. I mean, Dovin's out of the box. Dovin isn't even in the box. Dovin's actually, he's out of his area, and he's playing football, for God's sake, as a defender. He's that bloody confident. And Sakamoto on the right-hand side, just outside the box, puts it in, and Plachetta takes them. He makes a critical interception there. But Plachetta he's trying to jog his way out, but then he decides just to clear it. Goes into Coventry half, and it's now Van Evick. He's quick and he's strong. And we'll just put that in because it's nice to have something to put in. So that's that. Just type that one in. And it's not even put. Why not? Why not? We'll even put that on. Seeing as we're only watching one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played with
you can't do that on a Saturday when it's goals going into a second. If anybody is watching it, please like and subscribe and come back on a Saturday for the watch-alongs. The watch-alongs are in two groups. They're on just before the midday games, and we go 15 minutes before those, and then we'll go 15 minutes before the 3 o'clock games. As Coventry get the ball now for a throw-in, right on the left-hand side, but they can get this into the box absolutely easily. We're starting to see a bit of a panic at the back for Oxford now. They're almost trying to pack that box for the throw-in, and Haji Wright grabs it in the middle, but Brown grabs it, gives it to somebody else, and Sakamoto steals it, tries crossing it, but it's a bit of a ping-pong ball. Brown's managed to get it in the middle, but Coventry have found offside from about 4 yards. How the hell? It was just ping-pong ball, and Oxford just came forward, thought, sod this, we're going to catch them offside. And sure enough, they passed it forward to the front line just at the point when Oxford came forward. It was a well-timed offside. I'm not keen on the offside trap. To me, offside is when someone's goal hanging, and that wasn't goal hanging. That was we're in attack and we want to shoot, and our best people are at the front. Binks now to Rodoni on the left for Coventry. So Binks now tries to give it to Torp. Torp is running down the left-hand side. Torp now with the ball gives it to Haji Wright. He's a bit far out there. Can he run across the back of or the front of the box? He can, but he's finding it a bit tough, and he shoots it a bit haphazardly. Cummings grabs it, gives it to Will Vault. Back to Cummings, back to Will Vaults, Brown. It's on left and now middle is Brannigan. At the minute, Brannigan's having a pretty torrid time. If anybody's actually losing the ball most for Oxford, it's Brannigan. Even though he's just done a good ball to Goodrum on the left-hand side for.
They're certainly doing that today, Coventry. I don't know how they played in the opening game against
right-hand side, sir. So Goodrum on the right. I think he's just took a tackle there. Whether that's going to be a free kick, I think they're sort of like just thinking about that. I think it is a free kick to Oxford. It's in the Coventry half, so we'll see where it goes. It's cut out by Eccles, who loses it to Rodriguez in a rather difficult. It's a goal for comes into a Rodriguez, and where the hell that goal came from? 1-1.
Oh, the shot comes in out of the blue. It's hit the back of the net. Kieran Brown celebrating.
It's Kieran Brown. Rodriguez gave it to Kieran Brown, and Kieran Brown just wells it in. It's now.
The ball was contested, and all of a sudden it drops down, and the next thing you know, Kieran Brown wheeling away in delight.
How on earth did that come from? Oxford, what's that free kick on the right?
I mean, that was a goal from nowhere, wasn't it? That was a goal from nowhere. I mean, Coventry tried clearing it and cleared it to Rodriguez just outside the box. Rodriguez gave it to Brown, and it's like, well, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to shove it in the ball. If you're going to give it to me and there's not going to be any Coventry players with me, it goes in the back of the net. It's like from nowhere. Absolutely from nowhere. I mean, Rodriguez is just so well composed. Sims now kicks it off, gives it to Binks, and Coventry can build again at 1-1. It's Coventry 1, Oxford 1. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, Redoni has a shot from absolutely nowhere. See, there's shots from nowhere now. This is getting a little bit. It goes wide. This is actually the first time I think Coventry have shot, and it's gone out for a goal kick. The others have all been blocked. Really have. I mean, if I go to the stats, how many? So Coventry have had 7 shots, right? They've had 7 shots. Only one of them has missed. The other 6 have either ended up in the back of the net, i.e. one, or they've been blocked. It's just really weird. Just really weird. Yeah, absolutely weird. But they're it's what time are we on? 24 minutes. As Bennett intercepts that timely in the middle of the box for Oxford, gives it to Harris. Plays it to the side to Plachetta, but it's grabbed from him. But Plachetta grabs it back. He runs towards him. Why are you running towards him? And Sakamoto just takes it at a second attempt and passes it to the middle for Eccles. Now, Coventry could make something as this, but he gives it to Sakamoto on the right-hand side. Now, what's he going to do? Van Evick, Eccles, a little bit of a triangle on the right, and they're just triangling, giving it between the 3 triangular people at the back. Passes it to the left to Torp. Bidwell, I like Bidwell. Torp is been a little bit cautious for me, and he's back to Letabaudiere from Torp. Across to Van Evick, and I'm sort of interested in Van Evick because he's sticking to his position like glue. He really is. He's keeping that. His positional play is brilliant. As Moore grabs it from Coventry, Haji Wright, but then Haji Wright grabs it back, and Brown then, as he turns, Brown sort of grabs him, and it's off for a corner. No.
The byline challenge comes in from the Oxford goal scorer Kieran Brown, but it was a well-timed one. Coventry will have to settle for a corner.
Yeah, really exciting.
It is a corner. I thought it was. See, it's really good having the radio on because I see it's a corner and then I have to wait and just check that 5 seconds later, because they're only 5 seconds behind, to make sure that what I've seen is actually what they've seen and are being told. The corner comes in. Moore grabs it for Oxford, but doesn't clear it very far. He tries doing it. They keep trying to pass it to the left and then up the left-hand side, but Eccles grabs it, gives it to Rodoni, and he doesn't quite. That pass was dreadful, and it'll go for an Oxford throw-in on Oxford's left-hand side. So where will they go? Because they're right on the defence. And Oxford now can try I certainly would be thinking they're going to try and slow this game down. They're on 26 minutes and 41 seconds. They need to get into the second half with a little bit of, Van Evik actually got the ball before Haji Wright put it in. No, that was that one. I'm thinking of the Oxford one. Who got the ball? Oh, now I'm giving you a. No, they're just giving Kieran Brown the goal. They haven't given an assist, but I would have been giving it to Rodriguez. So I say it's Rodriguez. I'm going to stick to that. There's Goodrum now, gives it to Brannigan. Brannigan to Bennett on the left. Slides it down to Plachetta. Back to Goodrum. Is he going to do a 1-2? He runs with it, but Latibodiere grabs it from Goodrum. And Brannigan comes in and nicks it straight. Passes it to the right to Sam, to Long. Long now gives it to Volts. Volts is now a lot further forward. Brannigan, Plachetta, they're in a dangerous position. Oxford now, right outside the box. What are they going to do with this? Oh, no. That was a poor slide through the middle, and they fluff that one at the last minute. Dovin grabs it and kicks it out to Latibodiere. Latibodiere to Binks. Binks to Latibodiere. And now Coventry can try and build from the back as Van Evik tries going up that right-hand side. Now, at the middle, Sam Long was good to cut. He went from the right middle to the far left for Coventry. And that was an absolutely brilliant interception there by Oxford. That was a good interception by Brown, I believe. And then Brown's now got it again in the middle. It might be Sam Long. Yeah, it was Sam Long who intercepted it on the far side, gave it to Brown, and now Brown's running forward. Sakamoto, who was on the left-hand side. Rodoni. Oh, whoa! That was a save by Cumming, and that was point blank save by Cumming, and Coventry should have been 2-1 up there. That should have been 2-1 up. I've got an issue with Coventry, and I keep looking. I wish there was a Coventry fan on, because Sakamoto is playing on the far left of the field, and from what I can see, he's not supposed to be on that side. So unless they've swapped him over, there's something rather odd going on with the Coventry side. I wish I had a Coventry fan on. If you're a Coventry fan, why is Sakamoto hugging the left-hand line? I'm just a little bit puzzled to why Sakamoto's on that side, because he's gone from playing on the right as Haji Wright has another shot, and again it's blocked and kicked out. Coventry have had all these shots, and they've only had one miss and go out for a goal kick. All the others have been blocked or gone in the net. So if you're a Coventry fan, please tell me. If you're an Oxford fan and you know a little bit about this Sakamoto, because I don't know much about him. Left-hand side, I thought it was a right-hand player, a right-sided player crossing it in, but who knows? I may be totally talking at my jackstick, but as Haji Wright crossed it, it's a goal for Coventry. It's 2-1 to Coventry. Again, it's just been one of those games where I'm not even going to spell that one. Van Ervik. So Van Ervik does a low drive. It comes out. I saw it coming in, but I didn't know who struck it, and it was Van Ervik that struck it. And it's back to being Coventry 2, Oxford 1 as we go into last 14 minutes.
a billion years ago.
We are now
As well. I think
into
nowadays. I'm looking at Joe Bennett, and he's got to be aware, really.
31 minutes 46.
The next thing is the right foot strike coming from the fullback. Where Plaqueta is in this, I don't know.
Now, Plaqueta should have. I think Plaqueta.
So
That's saying these things.
and why are they letting the fullback just running
Plaqueta was actually quite close to that, and he should have been defending that, but he didn't. And it's Coventry 2, Oxford 1 with Latabaudiere now, and I think Latabaudiere will try. Back to the goalie, back to Torp. We're going to see Coventry just try and hold on to this for half time, I think, now, because they didn't do last time. They tried extending it and they got pegged back. He's a little bit too wise, is their manager, and he's used to getting on the wrong side of fight backs at Rotherham. So he'll be thinking, let's just keep this to a minimum, and we'll just while we're ahead 2-1, Mark Robbins will be thinking, we're happy at 2-1. We don't want them to come back and equalise just before half time. That's the worst possible time for Coventry. But Van Evik is back in the mix again. Gives it to backwards to Sakamoto, who's now on the right hand side. I don't know where he's moving the entire flipping pitch. Eccles, and he shoots, and it's out, and it's a goal kick for. That's the second time it's gone out, which is only the second time they've missed. And
Oxford are trying to work hard, but when it's control pass, you never get there.
Rodoni just got a touch to that, but it doesn't matter because he was still going out. Coming to Rodriguez. Rodriguez lose it to Bidwell. I said Bidwell. I liked Bidwell last week, and I think he's doing a pretty good job this week. Not as good as last week, but he's playing well this week. Passes it to Torp. Latabaudiere probably being one of the more stable midfield players. And I mean it. It's actually Haji Wright has another shot from nowhere, and it's saved on the line and pushed out to Torp and Wright on the left. And this should have been 3-1. Bidwell now back to Haji Wright on the left. Binks to Latabaudiere right in the Oxford half, and the entire Oxford team is now pushing forward. Evik, Sakamoto on the right. Sakamoto now. Oh, Harris has grabbed that just in the right point. Can he push it forward? Rodriguez, you've got a chance here to catch them on the break, but they're going to have to be quick. But they aren't. They're passing it backwards to Goodrum. And why have they done that? Why have they not pushed forward? We've got Coventry there. We're just asking to have a break against them, but Oxford decided to pass it back. Rodriguez had the opportunity to respond immediately and go straight through the middle, but he passes it to Goodrum, who gets taken out, and I think it's a free kick to Oxford. And they keep losing it. They just keep losing it now. It's Binks, Latabaudiere, Binks, Coventry now in the centre circle with Binks. Torp gives it to Bidwell. Bidwell now on the left-hand side, but Long grabs it. Long's doing a decent job for Oxford, actually. I think probably the best of the lot. Eccles to Latabaudiere, and Long grabs that through ball again. You see, so Long's in that space trying to. He's really doing a good job on that right-hand side, and he's keeping his position as well, which is really impressive. But he's just not being supported by the other team members. Torp, Bidwell. I think the midfield for Oxford is just starting to show signs of let's pass it back and not get beaten by too many. Latabaudiere to Van Evik. Now Van Evik can try and Evik, Latabaudiere, midfield. in the box, in the centre circle. Latabodiere pass it to Binks. Binks now. Binks on the left-hand side. I think that's a free kick. It'll be a free kick to Coventry on the left-hand side. It's in the Oxford half, and I've got a feeling this will be quite but they've actually passed it back. That surprised me completely. It passes it back to Torp. So we've got Torp on the right-hand side. Well, is it forward, and it's a simple kick out by Cummings, and but he gives it as far as Sakamoto, and then Sakamoto gets it nicked by Brannigan. And Brannigan, it's a bit like ping pong at the minute. It's a little bit difficult. There's Sam Long now. Brannigan's Sam Long, but Bidwell grabs it from Sam Long. Brannigan then comes in, helps, and gets it from him. Gives it short to Will Volks, who gives it across the field to Brown Bennett. Bennett now on the left. They're going to have to make something. If they're going to cross the field like that, they need to make something of it. But they give it to Volks, and then Brown tries pushing it to Prachetta, who managed to get it, but off a Coventry player. Passes it back to Brannigan, gives it to Harris, but Torp, timely interception by Torp. But Rodriguez grabs it off him and gives it to Goodrum. And Goodrum now on the right. And a shot by Prachetta, but it's off target, and it will be a Coventry goal kick.
Decent ball in towards Harris, who attacks it. It's defended well by Latabodiere, and then a header towards goal from Prachetta, always floating though wide of the right-hand post.
Goal kick to Latabodiere. A couple of yards to Latabodiere. Latabodiere now can play it forward. No, he even plays it backwards a couple of foot to Dovin. Binks pushes it forward, but Prachetta grabs that one on Oxford's left. Prachetta now trying to pass it back, but he's finding it difficult to get round the attacking line of Coventry. They're actually pushing Oxford back into, and they, in panic, they kick it out just their own side of the halfway line. And Coventry have a throw in, and it goes all the way across the pitch to Torp, and Torp can now try and build from on the left hand side, and Torp's giving it to Bidwell, Bidwell to Binks, and I'm trying to watch this as we go on, but we'll try and put it there instead. So Dovin is outside his box to kick that one to Latabodiere. This is how confident Coventry are at the minute. 39 minutes and we kicks it forward, but Moore intercepts it in the box. That was a really good interception by Moore from Oxford there, but it tries kicking it out. Eccles gets a foot to it and it goes out for an Oxford throw-in. Oxford throwing on the right hand side for Oxford, but it's right by their own box, so it's pretty not much use there. 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 46 seconds now, and we have Oxford taking their jolly good time about putting this throwing in. Mediumly long to Harris, going forward, but then Harris seems to miscontrol it, and it goes out for a Coventry throw. So it was a pretty useless one. They throw it backwards to Binks, and Binks has got space now. Gives it to Eccles, right across to Van Evik, who gives a 1-2 with Eccles, and Eccles then tries pushing it forward to Van Evik, and Sakamoto grabs it instead, but they're playing together, and one of the defenders there grabs it, pushes it, tips it out for a throw in, and Van Evik gives it to Rodini. Eccles, Latabodiere. I'm trying to see what the bloody hell we've got now. They're passing it really, really quickly as it goes to the left for Bidwell. Bidwell to Binks, and Binks now can really, really quickly. Latabodiere, Binks pushes it forward. Sam Long's in there again, and he's doing such a good job down that right-hand side for them. Gives it to Goodrum, back to Long, to Rodriguez, back to Goodrum. Poor pass, and Latibodiere passes it to Dovin, and Dovin can, I think, slow this game down. We're almost on 42 minutes. Goodrum then nicks the ball right on the in a very good position on the right, but it's gone out and just couldn't control it, and it's a Coventry throw-in. They try a sneaky through ball. Rodini grabs the rebounder from an Oxford player, and Rodoni sounds like a piece of pasta. Cleared into the far left, and the cross just gets cleared out by Binks. It was actually quite a decent cross and quite a decent move. Yeah, there's a decent delivery, decent cross, but Binks. Yeah, Binks just puts it out, and I think Harris, it gets put out for a corner.
I think he's thinking, chip it over the keeper, see what happens. A percentage ball if you like, but Binks has really got to head it behind. And so, if Oxford
Binks was right by the far post as that ball came in, and I think he was like, I've got to head it out because I have no option. So on 42 minutes and 58 seconds, the ball comes in, and Binks can clear it, and it's an Oxford throw-in. So Oxford throw-in on their left-hand side, short to Goodrum, slightly backwards. Cross to the opposite side to Plachetta, and Plachetta can give it to Will Volts. Will Volts needs one of those brilliant crosses of his on 43 minutes now, but Will Volts is being pushed back, and he just can't get. He just doesn't seem to be able to get the ball in. Will Volts crossed, and it's out for a goal kick to Coventry. Poor cross by Will Volts, not one of his best. Latibodiere now can build from the back. We're on 44 minutes, so we'll be finishing at half time, I think.
And 7 Polish caps, but I think he looks good. A lot of the time
so it's 2-1 to Coventry, and Bidwell now for Coventry. Pass it Hadji right deep on the left-hand side for Coventry. Oh, and that cross was a good one, but it was quickly cleared out, but only as far as Latibodiere. And Latibodiere now, middle of the Oxford line, Oxford half of the pitch, cross it to the left, parallel to Binks, and Binks can now try and push it into Hadji right. Crosses it, but it's a bit too strong, and Sakamoto tries something, but Cummings finds that pretty easy, and Cummings can build from the back for Oxford. At the minute, it's all Coventry City, and Oxford, I must admit, they did look like they were going to fall apart, and then all of a sudden Oxford just started. Well, they went behind, and they started to look like they were really going to. They were going to fall apart, and they haven't now. They've started to just pick up a little bit, but they are 2-1 down. Volks loses it to Redoni in the middle, and there's 2 minutes extra time. We're on 45 minutes and 25, so we've got 1.5 minutes left as Sam Long will try to pass to Plachetta. Plachetta's lost it again, and Rodriguez grabs it back for Oxford, but they need to make something. Will Volts passes it back. Long, Will Volts more. Why are we passing it into defence? Why are we doing this? Will Volts. Will Volts needs to do. He's passed it to the goalkeeper. Can't pass it any fucking further back. Come on, Brown, and that annoys me when they do that. It really does. Will Volts is a damn better player than to pass it back to the goalkeeper. Why do people do it? You're 2-1 down. You have to try and build steadily, not pass back. And there was no need for it. There's Rodoni now builds for Coventry on the right-hand side. Rodoni tries to a through ball through the middle, but it just wasn't going to.
Well, he's going shoulder to shoulder. I've got a degree of sympathy. Let's see quite how savage he was. He comes across and he's desperate to win it. I think there was just a little bit too much elbow out there, wasn't there? But for me, side to side, you know.
Cummings gives it a kick, but Latibodière's in the box there, but tries a through ball, and Rodriguez is now got it's called off for half time. Rodriguez could have had one last push of the ball there, but it's finished half time. Coventry 2, Oxford 1, and that's been a very difficult game to watch. Oxford were pretty good at first. Coventry were on top, but Oxford were doing a pretty good job of themselves in defence. Sam Long was playing really well for Oxford. My best player for of the game so far for me is it's a sort of Bidwell stroke Haji Wright, with Rodoni not far behind. So we're gonna, as soon as we're not getting too many people on here, we are gonna call it a day. And anybody playing this later, since I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, please do remember we're going to be live all day tomorrow, all the way from lunchtime, all the way to about 5 o'clock. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to need lots and lots of drinks and lots of people coming across and giving me some help and cheer and a little bit of a push. So please come along on Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you at the next full game Watchalong. And it starts at lunchtime on Saturday.